wanted to talk to you today. She wanted us to talk to you today about what she is calling the superhighway of abundance. So this actually it's going to answer some of your questions about the work-life balance. Um, because what we're offering to you here is it's a paradigm shift. It's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of being. This is what Amanda typically has set aside for what she calls those stepping into seven-figure clients. But we want you to know that you can absolutely start your paradigm shift right now where you are at, and this will help move you through more swiftly, so you are going with the stream instead of up against the stream, and will help move you through quicker and faster to wherever your desire in business and your personal life will be. This work-life balance question, there's a certain amount that could be considered the doodad. There's a certain amount that is just how you structure your day. But what we really want to talk about right now is, you see, this superhighway of abundance. It is where you see things constantly flowing to you, whatever those desires are, where you constantly are seeing your clients, you're constantly seeing if you have a desire for a mate, or you have a desire for something good to happen in your housing situation, or you have a desire for a pet and it literally shows up on your front door. This superhighway is, there's no how to get to it. Amanda talks a lot about the how, and we will offer you the how. We like to offer the how. The how is something that we will give you the next few steps. We don't show you every single step along the way because that would overwhelm you, as well as we don't show Amanda with her own self every single step along the way because that would overwhelm her. What we do offer is the next steps to get you going into this momentum, because the momentum is part of the connection to this superhighway. And really what Amanda is meaning by when she speaks about this superhighway where everything that you desire just naturally comes to you. And she talked about how she made snails while playing in the snow, or riding a horse, or baking a pie, or popping a bottle of champagne. It's happening because she is simply in her soul center. She's simply in that vortex. And that is something that can happen for every single person here on this call, every single person watching later, and every single person in this world. Because as we've spoken in last transmissions, that part of your soul is always connected to the universe. Part of your soul is always connected to the infinite of everything. And because it's connected to the infinite of everything, anytime that you think of a desire, your desire is instantly manifest in the etheric realm, and that etheric realm is part of your spiritual connection to the universe. And so when you can get into your soul center, when you can get into your personal vortex, that is where everything that you've desired is already manifest, and it just starts showing up in your life, literally poof, like the proverbial bag of gold. Now, can you expect a bag of gold to fall into your lap? No, not entirely. However, we just wanted to offer that to you because you do hear about things like that happening, and people are constantly dumbfounded by it. And it is not that somebody is lucky or different, it's because they're entirely in their vortex. So the short and the simple of how to be in your soul center, how to be in that spot where all of your desires are just landing in your lap and landing in your lap and landing in your lap. There's really no how to it. The how is your state of being. So we're going to change our language to being now. And this is where a lot of the paradigm shift comes in, because so many people are focused on the how, and the how is not the how. It's about you being and your own personal vibration and your personal inner state. We talked about in a previous transmission how your emotions, they are what guides you and what tells you if you are in alignment or not. And so when you are feeling happy, when you are feeling joy, when you are feeling gratitude, when you are feeling positive excitement and positive expectation over and over and over in every moment of the day, that is you being in your soul center. And the quick and the short of it is that's how everybody starts manifesting all of these results very quickly. And Amanda calls it get into your joy. The joy of being is the secret key to the superhighway of abundance. So if you need to write down joy, joyous, happiness, excitement, it is not about trying to be those things, but it is about simply being those things. So, and we can offer a really simple house for that. it comes as practice to most people, and the hows are almost going to seem too simple to you. You're going to sit there and go, well, if it was that simple, why doesn't everyone have it? What we speak about is there's just something in you that isn't allowing, and that is something that Amanda works with her individual clients with, is getting all of these key codes of allowing into their actual alignment, so that this superhighway of abundance can simply fall from the sky and drop into your lap. However, some of the simple things are constantly be in a state of joy, constantly be in a state of appreciation, constantly be in a state of happiness. And now this goes back to the very teachings of being grateful for something that you have before it comes manifest into your life. So maybe you have to like hack your brain and like trick your brain and maybe lie to your brain a little bit, where you're thinking of a time that you were super joyous, you're thinking of a time you were super happy, or you're thinking about the time that you were super grateful, and you allow your body to fill with that feeling, right? So we're back to the feelings again. And so when you allow your body to fill with that feeling, and then you take that state with you all throughout your entire day, and anytime you find yourself slipping from it, you come back to it and 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 come back to it. You are in the superhighway of abundance. You are in your soul center. You are in your entire vortex. And that is when all of those desires simply manifest. And so for what could be considered a goal, what could be considered what you want to do for this year, what could be considered something when you reach for, is simply being in that state of your soul center, simply being in that highway of abundance. And then all of your desires are just coming and coming to you, and you get to pluck them into physical existence whenever you choose to, because you are allowing it. This is where we want to speak to you now about balance. So Amanda asked us to speak about the balance that some of you were asking about in the website landing page on the Facebook, and that the balance really comes from you being 110% entirely authentic, soulfully you. And so the wonderful thing that we're going to say to you is, if you're not 110% soulfully you, then you will not see movement in business. You will not see movement in your personal life. You will not see movement towards the things that you desire and the things that you want. And the reason is because you are literally putting a wall there when you're not being 110% yourself. So you're the one tripping yourself up. You're the one that's not fully allowing in all the wonderful things. And of course, and this is something that Amanda has dealt with several times, especially because she gets what she calls shit for her age all the time, because apparently she looks a lot younger than she really is. And there are women in her community that are not happy that she is where she is at her business, at being what they think is a 20-year-old in their minds, or a 28-year-old. And so know that Amanda had to get over her own wall, and she had to get over her own defenses to move past this and be 110% her authentic self, or like she says, giving the middle finger to everybody else. And so to do this in a way that is also professional, because of course we understand that every single one of you is a professional, and that you don't all giggle snort with every single person that could potentially be a client out there, because that isn't professional, but that you can be 110% authentically your soul self. And that is where people are going to see you. That is where the people are going to spread through, like the noise, where you hear about that noise of the online world, right? And they're going to see you like that needle in the haystack, shining bright, because you are speaking the words that you're supposed to speak, and you're speaking your spot into the world. So each of you has this beautiful spot that is woven into the thread of the universe. And when you all fully allow yourself to be 110% yourself, and you take your spot in the universe, and you shine like this brilliant lighthouse out there, and that is where the clients come running in. So it really is, it's maybe backwards thinking for the brain, the human brain. And maybe that's a way that will help you think better about all of this, is to think about it backwards. So putting your authentic self first. Amanda has read a lot of copy in the last year, a lot of offer letters and different things on people's websites and their Facebook pages and other social media, where they're very beautifully written. They're very vanilla. And the reason that they're vanilla is not because somebody's trying to make them a vanilla. The reason they're vanilla is that humans have this idea that they need to fit in with a standard in their industry, or they need to fit in with what a standard of a professional looks like, or a standard of what somebody else is expecting from them into their shoes. And that is actually what's keeping clients from them. That is actually what is keeping them from stepping fully into that highway of abundance, where that the receiving of abundance in all forms, whether it's monies or opportunity in sales and in other, just come rushing to you. And so what we can offer to you in this, start from that other side, start from the I am 110% myself. This is exactly what I want to say. This is exactly how I want to say it. And give yourself permission to, even maybe just on your own, maybe these are things that you're sharing with anybody yet, but on your own, put it all out there. Be that raw, naked, authentic self of yours. And it might feel bad or wrong or literally like you're naked in the street. And that's what we say, that's good. That is where it's good, because this is where, when we go back to the lima bean example, this is you not saying, oh, I just don't like lima beans, that's not for me. What this is showing you is this is a form of resistance when you're feeling that bad or weird or naked. And so take a moment and allow yourself to be in this comfort. In fact, by the way, the most powerful place that you can be in your forward trajectory is to be in that spot of discomfort. If you're not uncomfortable, you are not digging in far enough into the roots of your soul, into the depths of what you can do and who you are in the fabric of the universe. And when you do allow yourself to feel what may be called vulnerable, or to feel what might be called uncomfortable, what you're actually doing is you're sending out to the pulse to the universe that this is your full authentic self that you're stepping more and more into. And in kind, the universe is going to be sending back to you the people that have been looking for you and the opportunities that have been looking for you. And when you meet them with positivity, so you can sit there and you can be uncomfortable. You're probably saying, Amanda, how do I sit there uncomfortable and then be in that state of positive expectation? Well, remember, everything is everything. One side of one thing is the same side of the same side of the other thing. So you can be in that state of discomfort and yet maybe think of a time when you were a kid on Christmas morning and you were so excited for your presents and you had the positive expectation because you knew they were going to be wrapped under the tree. Or maybe it was a birthday, if you don't celebrate Christmas. There's so many different things that you could, at that moment when you're feeling that entire utter discomfort, then put yourself into the vibration of positive expectation based on a time that you knew. And then you have the memory that, yes, of course, the presents were there. That is what is coming to you from this interaction, whether it is a post, whether you are really being completely honest with a client or potential client, and you're holding them to their truest and highest self and not holding their hand or placating them, that the outcome then is in your highway of abundance. And to balance oneself, to balance one's time, because of course we'll tell you that there is no time, and that the linear construct of time is simply a human way of making sure that all of the marbles end up at the end of the day. As far as balancing your time goes, you put you first, you put the most important things first, and you allow yourself to be in those most important things first, because that is the being of the directness of the superhighway of abundance. Amanda, for herself, she always put her self routine first, her care of her body first. What she needs as far as rest, supplement, food always comes first. She laughs and calls it her feeding schedule or her nap schedule. And if she doesn't have it and her body starts crashing, she can't show up fully. So she puts that first, which then allows her to be in that superhighway of abundance, which then allows her to show up and serve or simply be. And during that time, she can enjoy that excitement and that positive expectation and that happiness and that joyous, no matter what comes along. Because of course, there's things that come along where she would really just like to give the middle finger to and not address anything, but yet she sits in the discomfort and it helps her move forward while she goes ahead and allows herself to feel that joyous expectation. So the same thing is absolutely true for you too. So what you need to think is set in your entire day and set your entire business up around you to begin with, whether it is bodily needs or emotional needs or mental needs, whatever it is, you decide what the most important thing to you and the most nourishing thing to you is first, and then you allow your business and everything else that happens in your personal life to come around it. And you'll know if there is no doing it right. There is simply, are you more aligned or are you less aligned? And you'll know almost immediately whether you're more aligned or less aligned by the results that you get. That's the wonderful thing, is that the results you get tell you what you have been doing. And so what we say is, you don't want to be at result, you want to be at cause. Cause is where you direct how the results are going to happen. So you simply put on that thinking cap and you see what your results are, and you see what your results are. And if they are what you want, yay, do more of the same. If they're not what you want, or you want to tweak a little bit different, decide with knowing your intuition, knowing your gut, and speaking with the universe, because you can do that always on your own. And the universe is always speaking to you and giving you direction in ways that you can understand when you quiet the mind and go inside and listen. That will get you, these tweaks will get you closer and closer to that desired result that you want, so that you can be at the cause. So what this really comes back to again is to allow your emotions to get into that spot that is the being of the superhighway of abundance. The superhighway of abundance, coming back to everything that you desire is already manifest in front of you in the etheric realm, and then you just simply pluck it out and allow it to immediately manifest and manifest and manifest and manifest and manifest in your life. And if you aren't getting the results that you want, you simply need to change things around at the cause so that you're on that superhighway of abundance with your being. And we will pause now for questions. Hi. So, yep, go ahead, Corey.
So I had a question about the being in the spot of discomfort, because I have trouble telling if the discomfort is just, oh, I don't feel comfortable because it's, something unusual, something I need to be doing and I need to push forward, or if it's discomfort because, it's like, wrong, stop, don't do this. And so I whenever I am in that spot of discomfort, I'm battling myself like, okay, is this my body saying, please don't put that post out there because that is incredibly stupid? Or is this my body saying, oh, this is a little uncomfortable, put it out there and we'll see what happens?
Perfect. Wonderful question. I see Marianne shaking her head. Is that what you were going to say? Do you have anything to add to that? So we love this question. And the reason that we love it is because this is actually allowing yourself to tap deeper into your soul connection, deeper into what would be your divine self. This is where you have what Amanda calls discernment. So coming back to the example, and then we're going to give you a practical. The practical be a lot of note taking and history taking. However, we don't want you to think that this is some homework that we are going to be bashing you over the head with. So please know that anything that we ask of you is simply so that you can get into this being at cause and seeing the results. Think of a time in your life when you have absolutely felt like something was wrong, bad, that you shouldn't be doing, that was a big stop, and yet you did it anyway. So this could be as simple even as knowing maybe you shoplifted when you were 12. So many kids do that, and you knew it was wrong, and you did it anyway. Now, granted, yes, you knew it was wrong because other people had told you it was wrong, and your parents had told you it was wrong, and you knew that there was like going to be this big punishment coming up. But feel right now, allow yourself to go into that memory and feel how that felt. So obviously that's a no. So anytime you feel that again, you know that is a no. Let's go to a time though that somebody else wasn't telling you what was right or wrong. So for each one of you, there have been times in your life that maybe say you were burnt out, you were exhausted, you had it up to here with maybe a loved one or a client or something going on, and you tried to push through it. Yes? So during these times, we ask you to feel into that feeling that Amanda is asking us to share with you, that it feels like gray. It feels like the color gray, because at that time you had your human brain telling you to push through, and yet your body was telling you no. Your body was telling you needed to do something else, whether it was just to completely disconnect from the situation and let your brain and your body have a complete break, or maybe it was that you needed to lie down and take a nap, or maybe it was that you needed to think of asking for assistance from a mentor. That is a spot where you are at a no. In that time as well, you usually didn't, most people do not have racing thoughts. Most people have the like, oh crap, or oh shit, or oh, okay, I really just, I can't even deal with this right now. Where the flip side, so when you're coming up against what might be considered a trigger, or what might be allowing you to be that discomfort, and then putting yourself forward so you can move into expansion, the feeling is slightly different. The feeling, so think of a time when you've actually had that happen. So whether this is in business or even in school when you're writing an essay, or when you decided to take an activist position, think of all the different times where you in your own life have had a moment of, I really feel like I need to do this thing, but I'm really not sure the people around me will accept it. And yet I really feel called to do it. And there was a lot of nervousness. There was a lot of nervous excitement. There may have even been racing thoughts, and there may have been butterflies in your stomach, and even butterflies, we call butterflies in chest. So not necessarily anxiety, but the excitement of what could happen, the excitement of the what could happen, because you knew in your heart of hearts you were doing the right thing, but then your ego mind was scared and telling you no. And so that's where the discomfort and the wall, the proverbial wall that is keeping you back, comes in. And so when you are sitting down, whether you're doing something in business right now, or you are doing something that maybe relates more to your personal life, whether you're making a choice in a marriage or relationship, with a family member, let me say those ones are all the worst. Those ones are all the worst simply because humans feel so much guilt and tiedness to somebody that they might be related to, but that is toxic to them. So hey, we have good news for you. If you're sitting down and relating this to your business, you're actually on the easy end. And of course, with either of these, lean in. So this is where you get to use that discernment. So you have the, okay, I've been in this situation before where I have put something out there or done something that I knew was right in my heart of hearts, and I'm feeling some similar feelings and having similar butterflies in my stomach and in my chest, and everything turned out on the positive. So I'm feeling that now. So everything should probably turn out on the positive. And then we ask you, wait, go one step further. Check in with yourself. Check in with your soul that is connected to the above, where we're talking about what part of your soul is it to the universe above. Simply ask yourself, is this what I should be doing? This might take some practice if you haven't practiced it this before, but a yes will feel a lot different than a no. So yeses often feel like a wave of comfort. Yeses often feel like tinglies on your neck or on your head or on your back. Yeses often feel like a surge of excitement. Yeses sometimes can actually come in tears, because they are tears of, oh, I finally get to lift this weight off of my shoulder and be who I want to be and say what I want to say, knowing that it's actually going to lead to good things and more of what I actually want, and less of what I don't want. And no's can come as a literal no's. They can come as pain in your tummy. They can come as a feeling of, I cannot do this. This is not right for me. We ask now, more, is there more clarification, other questions to be had?
If you get to the no, this is not right for me. How do you, how do you find what is? You know.
Okay. No, that's a really good question. So let's go back to the oldest profession for women. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Prostitution, right? Hey, guys, do you want to join me in becoming prostitutes? Right? You have a very clear yes or no there. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? It's the oldest profession. Like, surprised they don't put that in the high school, what you're gonna be when you grow up. And then so you say, okay, let's draw it back one. Prostitution, no. How about being a stripper? It's a little better, right? Like, you don't actually have to touch anyone. And again, nothing wrong. I have plenty of friends that are strippers. Not for me. And you just know, right? When I said that, you're like, nah, not for me. And if it's something that you did in the past, great. Like, it's whatever. But that's a very clear yes and no, right? So when you're going through things and you're getting constant no's and you're going, okay, yeah, but where is my yes? Start breaking things down like that. So Marianne, do you have an example? Whether are you thinking about a Facebook post, an offer letter? Let me know what's going on in your mind there.
The thing for me right now is showing up on LinkedIn and wanting to show up as a professional, but wanting people to really see my authentic self at the same time. And I'm getting all teary.
Okay. And this can go for anyone, right? Whether you're looking at a new platform or you start speaking publicly to a group of people that, maybe you don't know you're speaking to. And I say this because I was reading the Dare to Lead book by Brene Brown, and she was booked at a conference to present, and she shares that they said, oh, you're going to be meeting with like the C crowd. She thought SEA. So she had more of like a hippie crunchy presentation presented. And then like 5 minutes before she went out, she was noticing all these other presenters were wearing suits. And they're like, no, C, like corporate. And shares that she almost like fell over and almost ran out of the room. And she went out and she did her presentation anyway. And she did it from her heart. And she said, looking at the audience, she could see them. And I know on like LinkedIn and social media, you can't really see this, but you can see the people leaning forward and like chewing on their pens and taking some notes. And I think she said she got a bunch of private clients out of it too, by the way. So what this is about is you think less of who you're presenting to, because they're all just people under there. And honestly, Marianne, and this is for anyone, you guys can have fun with this. So maybe it's that you put on a suit for when you're doing lives or doing your pictures, but even if having one of those cool like collars, because they do make really cool ones for women, you loosen it, right? And you like unbutton the jacket. So you're like, hey, look, I'm here, I'm professional, but I'm also relaxed. And by doing that, one, it gives them permission to be like, oh, hey, I can loosen my collar. I can unbutton my suit. And when you're speaking, right, because we notice clothes, we do. And we're taught that in the corporate environment. And shoes. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that on Zoom. Shoes is one of the first things that people look at. What's going to happen when you just start speaking from yourself? So I know you do these coffee chats, right? So the universe is saying, dress up, but loosen everything up. Pick a mug that's very, like, I've got a Christmas mug right now, symbolic to your heart. And you can use, whether it's, I know a lot of people in the corporate world, writing for corporate is entirely different than like the copywriting that we do as coaches. You can use the highfalutin jargon, but you can use it in a way that's conversational. So you're showing them, yeah, I've got like the education. That's one thing, suits look at. I've got the well-spoken, well-presented, but I'm also here as a person. And really, I don't know if anyone's had this experience, but I've read some pretty scathing emails that didn't have any finger pointings, didn't have any curse words, didn't have anything like that, but it was the way it was presented. And so for you, it's the way it's presented. Would you like the universe to give you a direct example?
Well, I have the topic I've chosen for this Thursday is showing up authentically.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And what do you feel like you will be sharing? Just a little snippet.
There's stripping away that needs to happen, that people have these facades that they continue to, the masks that people wear. What you were saying about the people. Yes, I know they're all people, and I want them to be able to respond and step forward and feel safe about that. They're afraid to be vulnerable, and I want to make it okay.
Everything you just said there, make a post about that in the words that you just said that.
I'm glad you're recording.
Yes, and I'll have this up for you. So what the universe is saying is to remind them where they've been. So they've been in jobs and places where the hustle and the burnout is actually a badge of honor. Not taking your vacation days is the corporate culture, and you've been taught that's okay, but in your heart of hearts that it's not. That you're a real person with a real family, with real needs, and that you can take that facade off, because everybody wants to, even the ones that are touting. We don't take our vacation days here. I've had jobs like that, by the way. We don't take our vacation days here. And really, like, what's going on inside of that person's head at the moment when they hear that? What the fudge? Right? And so even you put a post like that where, in italics you put under, and I know going in your brain you were thinking about what the fudge, and let them know how many other people there are that feel the exact same way. Like, you are not alone. Like, the universe is showing me this huge sea of people, that there's so many people that feel that way, and they need to know that there's so many other people out there that feel that way, that they're not alone, that they're not just these like suit robots, and that they can, like you were saying, be professional and be themselves. And that is where the world is going, right? That is where we have seen the world turning its tides to more inclusion, more compassion, employee voices being heard. The universe was very clear at the beginning of last year. It's like, and they didn't tell me why, because the universe knew I, as Amanda the person, would freak out. Everything's going remote, and people aren't going to want to go back necessarily to full-time in the office. People are going to, demand in the next few years still seeing their doctors or their therapists via telehealth if they can. Like, there's this, we've seen the other side, and now we want more. The masses of all of us want more flexibility, more honoring the family space, more honoring each individual's needs. And so speak to that, because they're all feeling that, right? Is that helpful?
Yeah. Well, yes. I was getting the tinglies up my back, and I think it's what my mission is to bring more humanity into the corporate world. So it's very much in line with that. To see
I
the
love that. And I thank you for having been a corporate employee. I think we all on this call have been at some point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Interestingly enough, the universe is saying right now for you, Marianne, you know how in coaching we talk a lot about how we're no longer exchanging dollars for hours, right? It's like expertise for investment. The universe is saying the workforce all over the world wants to feel that too, that they're not just exchanging their time and their soul for their employer's money, but they are exchanging their level of expertise for investments and them being loyal to a company. Never heard that one before. That makes a lot of sense. At least to me, it makes a lot of sense with where the universe has shown the world is going. Other questions, Marianne? Michelle, Corey, other questions? Okay. Let me just do, oh, sorry, go ahead. Let me just do kind of final thoughts, final messages here from the universe. So what we want to ask from you today is to allow yourself to start this paradigm shift into being. Allow yourself to start from the end. So seeing results, seeing what you want, and allowing yourself to decide what at cause that you want to be. And what at cause you want to be is how you choose to set up your day, how you choose to present yourself, how you choose to reach deep down inside and pull up all of who you are and show that to the world, how you allow the various fabrics of your energy to come out of your toes and come out of your fingers and weave into the fabric of the universe, to be in your spot, to be in that very special location where only you have the type of skills and the type of expertise that you have, not just because of your soul, but because of what you have experienced in life and what you are going to experience in life, as well as your past lives, because nobody else can compete with that, because there is no competition. And so by simply taking your place in the fabric of the universe and allowing the rest of the world to see it is where all of your desires are. And we will get into this as well as take more questions in other transmissions, and as well as any Q&A time. Know that your brain might be trying to tell you a lot of things and telling you a lot of house. And like we said, we'd love to offer the house, but allow yourself in the next week, week and a half, 2 weeks until we meet again to sink into this vibration, to sink into this feeling. In fact, even if you need to play this on replay in the background at any point, please do so, because it puts you in that direct connection with the universe, and in direct connection with the receiving, and in direct connection to your soul center vortex, where all of your desires have already manifest and we are complete. Thank you for being here, ladies. I appreciate your time. Was this helpful?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I will get this recording up to the page, and I will see you not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after at 9:30. If for whatever reason you can't be here for the Q&A, post the questions in the group so I will get to them. Also, if you're like, hey, because this is one thing about the universe, you're going to start having ideas and you're going to start having aha moments, share them. Feel free to share them in the group, but also feel free to post if you're like, there's this whole new entire theme that I think the universe needs to touch on in a transmission for another month. Stick it up there. Stick it up there. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you all have lovely rest of your days. And as your days are ending, Michelle, closer to the end of the day. And I will see you in the group. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, Amanda.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.